Hi, PK. I wanted to welcome you to my video conversations that I like to do to impart information to high school students and their families who are out there on different issues they might be experiencing. So thank you for joining me and the College Advisor. Just really
Having
quickly,
me.
what?
I said, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. PK is a hypnotherapist. She's been doing this for over 15 years. And I know she's good because I've used her myself and know she will not make you stand on a table and squawk like a chicken or anything like that. Because I know some people think if you're hypnotized, you can make people do all kinds of crazy things, but I don't think that's true, is it?
No,
No, no.
you'll never do what you don't want to do, but if you want to, I say go for it.
But you can do that without being hypnotized too,
That's right.
right?
Exactly. No problem. You don't need me for that.
No, but what people could use you for is dealing with test anxiety. And I know certainly I've experienced that myself when I used to take tests, through college and high school and into my adult life. There's always sort of a level of nervousness, but I think for some people, it really impairs their ability to do well and perform well on the test the way they're able to. But when they sit down, I know I've heard my own children talk about you sit down and all that studying and everything you've done just goes whoosh right out the window. What would be the difference between being nervous for a test and being anxious before a test? And I don't know if you can talk about that a little
But there's
bit.
not necessarily much of a difference between those two things, but there is a difference between just being nervous or anxious before a test because you are ill prepared
Okay.
or you are concerned, and a lot of that sometimes is the fear of not doing a good job actually can motivate us to do an even better job. Those that it doesn't work that way with
Okay.
oftentimes will go into more of a panic mode that is automatic. It's not something they're consciously thinking about, and then they blank out because our conscious mind does that. When we are under stress of any kind, parts of our conscious brain begin to shut down.
Okay.
At that point, adrenaline starts and cortisol start rushing through our body and our brain, and it's getting us ready to fight or flee or freeze, our fight response to danger.
Right.
We're in danger. So when you have that, when it's something that it's really an anxiety where, you're going to be taking a test and you know everything, but you blank out when you do that, then that's when you really need
Some
to do
some
some
help.
calming work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kinds of things would you suggest the difference between sort of a do it yourself at home kit versus, getting professional help?
Well, the difference is that when you're in a state of hypnosis, which is, really, it's nothing more than being in a completely, totally physically relaxed state and mentally relaxed state, focusing on a particular thing, which is where a hypnotherapist is guiding you.
Okay.
And it's during that time that we're the most suggestible. That's
Okay.
where we learn the fastest. So, your subconscious, which is then what you're accessing, it learns like you learn anything through repetition, and a hypnotherapist knows how to guide you through. But that doesn't mean that people can't get themselves there on their own just with simple exercises. But with simple exercises, you can't just do it before a test. It
Right.
has to be something that you do for months every day as a daily practice, like breathing exercises, for example. They have an amazing calming effect, but it needs to be done
Every day.
every single day as a practice because you're teaching your brain something new. And like everything you're learning in school or any place else, we learn through repetition.
What kind of breathing exercises would you suggest for a high school student?
You know what? It's really very simple. I mean, I know that, in mindfulness, we have so many different kinds that do so many different things, but you know what? My very favorite one is, we just call it the rectangular breath. I like it when people, I think it works better when you close your eyes and you actually visualize the counting in your brain. You take a deep, deep breath in through your nose to the count of 4. So you're going, 1, 2, 3, 4, holding that breath really in your stomach and your diaphragm and your lungs. Make sure that you get a really deep, deep breath in. And then through your mouth, let go of that breath to the count of 8.
8. Okay.
Okay. So you're breathing in with your nose to the count of 4, out with your mouth to the count of 8. And you just keep doing that. And I say when anybody starts, they should start with between 3 and 5 minutes doing it straight. You put the timer on your phone and then just keep doing that. And you do that counting along with it in your head.
Okay.
And then the idea is to do it daily, starting off a few times a day, but then you want to start to increase it so that, every few days or every week, some people take longer than others. They can't handle the amount of time, or you want to work up to a half an hour each time.
Wow.
Breathing, right.
Okay.
Right.
In one sitting. So it's not like
In
you do
one
15
sitting, that's
minutes.
right.
Okay.
If you could do a half an hour worth of breathing exercise twice a day, you would be just zen.
Ready to go.
Yes.
Really, we should all do it, right?
Everybody should be doing that. And it's so, so simple, but people don't have the stamina and the willpower. So I say you take it in baby steps. Like you say, okay, so this week I'm just going to do 3 minutes.
Okay.
Doing it, right? Once a day. And then the next week you say, okay, now I'll do it for 3 minutes twice a day. And then the next week you do it 5 minutes twice a day. Or, you work up as you can.
Right.
Most people within a few weeks can get up to about 15 minutes without a problem at all.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to try this.
Just have to do it. That's all.
Yeah.
And, that's the thing about doing things.
Yes.
My definition of willpower to get yourself motivated and doing things is something you don't have when you need it.
Right. Right.
And that's why as hypnotherapists, we're there, because we can work with your subconscious to start giving you that willpower to get through all of this.
Got it. That's awesome to know, because I know not even just for test taking, there's just sort of a lot of anxiety in general.
That's right. For life these days, there's anxiety everywhere we turn around.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think especially when you're a kid, a teenager, a young adult, it's
right.
a lot to process things that are going on in the world, and it's a little difficult. The one question, I think this is all great and it's so simple, right? I think we're all looking for the magic pill that we could just swallow and be done, but it doesn't work that way. Right. But I know what you just said about going through it and practicing, but I guess sometimes I think, when I've talked to kids or whatever, they're already in sort of a tizzy, for a lack of better words. They're already in an anxious state.
Right. Okay.
How do you unwind that, or can you unwind that?
In an anxious state, once you're there,
it's hard.
That's that's really nearly impossible, because when you're that anxious and that stressed, your conscious brain is already shutting itself down there.
Okay.
And so, you're really not in control. Your conscious brain is responsible for your willpower, your motivation, and willpower. So what you want to do then is to start visualizing. And this is another way of doing it, because along with doing your breath exercises, you can actually do this together with it, or you can do it separately, where you just calm yourself as best you can and just visualize the outcome of that test. Okay. So visualize yourself first going into the classroom. You're doing a dress rehearsal. You're going into the classroom. You're sitting down at your desk. Your teachers passing out the test, whatever is going on, whatever is going to happen. And then you visualize yourself actually doing it, knowing all the answers and writing the correct answers, and then visualize getting back that test with an A.
It's all about baby steps, you know, it's,
Right.
we all learn certain behaviors and they, you know, just like they didn't start right away, they don't go away right away. And so
Exactly.
it's
We
just,
don't like change. We don't do, our subconscious doesn't do change well. Its job is to keep us doing the same things kind of repetitively
right,
over and over again.
right. Because that's what's
Automatic.
familiar, even though it's
Exactly. It's
not.
familiar and comfortable, whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't
Right,
matter.
right.
We do what we're programmed to do. And so in order to switch that program, you've got to do it gradually so your subconscious doesn't go bonkers and rebel against it.
Okay.
Baby steps, baby steps.
It really is a simple thing to do. The hard part is getting yourself to do it. And
Do
I
it.
think if something's really important to you, you have to find a way to just motivate yourself. And I think too, especially when you're younger, you're not knowing that you're not the only one. Some kids walk in like looking so confident, they're able to hide it, but they're
Right.
freaking out inside. And so I think knowing that you're not the only one that struggles with this kind of stuff
It's very common.
also helps. And you know what? No one's going to know you're doing your breathing. You could just sort of do it
That's true.
incognito, and then you get your higher score, your better grade, and life is good. Sometimes there are a lot of things lying underneath whatever's going on with a
Yes, absolutely.
person. And there's definitely times where you do need professional help. But I also think starting with a little self-help at the beginning is a good place to start.
Good place to start. And if it's not working out, then you go to see a hypnotherapist who can get rid of whatever those blocks or help you to get rid of those blocks that are preventing you from
Right.
achieving what you want to achieve.
Well, any last pieces of advice that you would want to impart, or do you feel like you've sort of said everything?
I think I've really covered it. I
I
mean,
think
the
so
best
too.
advice that I say is, keep on track, keep on track. Don't go into denial if you can't do this, if you're not doing it,
Yeah.
if you're, making excuses or you forgot, teenagers will say, I forgot. If
Right.
that's what's going on, that's when you need to get more help.
Yeah. Yeah. I always interpret I forgot as I don't want to or I can't.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Yeah.
'cause
We love being in denial too.
I know, I know.
And oh, I didn't do it today, but I know I'll do it tomorrow.
Right. I know. Famous last words.
Right, exactly.
Well, thank you, PK. I am sure as people watch this, I hope they will take the information and incorporate it into their daily routine somewhere along the way. And hopefully that'll equate to better grades, higher test scores, or just being a little calmer in the
Better living.
world. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome.